Hey, hello and welcome to Daily Unlimited. This is Amy Jonathan. So, how are you all? Hope you're all doing good. Please stay safe, at least till they find a vaccine for coronavirus. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about this new education policy 2020. The reason why I chose this topic is because when I turn on to news channels, I keep hearing this, and when I get into social media like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, I see discussions and many posts regarding this new policy. So we all know and we keep complaining about this Indian education system, which is really outdated when you compare to the education system followed in the developed countries. Yes, and many children are a victim for this education system. So, what is this new education policy all about? Are they going to change something? Yes, they've changed a lot. So, in this new policy, when I was a student, I took up 2 board exams during my school stage. But this policy has scraped that out completely. In the current system, from 1st standard till 10th standard, we are going to study the same subjects like social science, maths, and your language. Yes, we're going to study that for 10 years, and in the 10th year, which is your 10th standard, you're going to give a board exam. And then you're going to choose, based on your marks, you're going to choose a course, or based on your interest, you're going to choose a course, and you're going to go for your 11th, 12th, and going to give a board exam, then you're going for your higher studies. This system is scraped, and they are bringing in a new system called 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So are you going to do so many board exams? I'll explain it to you. So what they're doing is, in schooling, they're going to categorize or classify into 4 stages. So the first stage is called foundation stage. This is for laying the right foundation for your children, which means now from 3, every child has to get educated. So in the first 3 years, your children are going to attend kindergarten classes. Yes, this is in practice even now, like pre-KG, LKG and UKG. But in many rural areas, if you see, children don't get an opportunity to go, or they don't have the luxury to go to this as it is paid classes. So here in the new education policies, they are going to make it mandatory for children to attend kindergarten classes, and after that 2 years, 1st standard, 2nd standard, your child will take up a board exam in their 3rd grade. So this is mainly to assess their performance. So after that, that is called a preparatory stage, where your child, 4th standard and 5th standard, and then your child is going to give a board exam. So there are many things in between this. The current system, the way of education, you'll be taught orally, yes, you'll be made to write. In the new education policy, they are going to make it mandatory to encourage activity-based learning. This approach is followed in many international schools and in many developed countries. So what will happen? When you are going to train your child through activities, they are going to understand better and they'll be able to learn better. And another interesting thing about this policy is they are encouraging to learn children up to 5th standard in their mother tongue or a regional language. Many research has proved that if children are taught in their mother tongue, they are going to do better, because a child usually thinks in their mother tongue. So when that is going to be expressed in their mother tongue, and they are going to perform better. But this has 2 types of criticism, both positive and negative. In negative criticism, what people say is, if children are not taught in their business language, which is English, at early stage, how are they going to compete when they come to, how are they going to take up when they come to 6th standard? So yeah, this is a concern. But if English is taught as a business language right from their childhood, it is good, because language is not about education, it is about communication. So if a child is taught to communicate properly, yes, that is good. They are imposing 3 language system. So which is a child should learn 3 languages before they turn 10. Many research has proved that a child can learn many languages at the early stage than they learn at the later stage. So the first language, the 2 languages should be regional, and 1 is going to be a foreign language. So if 2 languages is going to be regional, yes, you're going to choose your mother tongue, and the second language option will obviously, most of us will choose Hindi because that is spoken in many states. And as you know, many non-Hindi speaking states are against Hindi imposition. But this is a way or approach to impose Hindi, or is this a way to approach Hindi on others? I don't have anything to comment. You can read the policy and understand it better. And the next year you will be given a foreign language, and they are going to streamline Sanskrit. I don't know how far that's going to help, but other than that, yes, activity based learning is well and good. This is going to bring in the thinking, logical thinking, and your child is going to learn better. So mainly in the foundational learning, they are going to focus on foundational literacy and numeracy. So this is very important because many children I've come across, when they come to 6th grade, even then they won't be able to read and write fluently or properly. So this type of education is going to sort that out. So your children, when they come to 6th standard, they'll be able to read and write properly. And from your 6th grade, this stage is called mid-stage. You're completing your foundation, and then you're going for your preparatory, and the third you're going to your mid-school or mid-stage. This mid-stage is between your class 8 to class 6 to class 8. So during this stage, children are going to be exposed to a different level of education. Yes, in the current system, you know, you will be taught, yeah, the same thing. But here, they are going to implement some new things where children will be exposed to experimental learning. So this is going to increase the logical and the critical thinking of children. And the very good thing which they have introduced in the policy is they are going to teach children to code from the age or from class 6. This is much needed because recently I was going through a video from Japan where children are taught to code from class 1. It's better to start coding at least from class 6. Yes, there's nothing wrong. This is going to increase the logical thinking of children. When I was in school, I didn't know coding till I came to college. So this is a very good approach. And even from this mid-school, they're going to introduce a vocational training. So this vocational training, if you see now, only after your 10th standard, you'll be exposed to vocational training. But here, they're going to introduce at a very early stage. And the purpose of this is, when your child is going to come out of school, they're going to come out with a different skill, a new skill along with the education which they learn. Isn't that interesting? Yes, this is a much needed one, but this has got both positive and negative criticism. So the positive criticism, yes, they say it is very good to get a new school along with the education, but you know the condition of India. Many children are still living under poverty line. So these children, if they are exposed to a new skill, they'll tend up to drop out of school and they are going to practice this. This is an argument or a discussion from another side. So let's see how this is going to be implemented. But I would say this is a very good thing because you are going to learn a new skill. And in India, practical knowledge is less compared to theoretical learning. In India, it's more about mug-ups. Whereas in foreign countries or developed countries where education is given much importance, they are focusing more on experimental learning and practical learning. So in this way, if your child is going to get practice on a vocational course and experimental learning, they're going to think better and their practical knowledge is going to increase a lot better. So talking about this vocational course, it is going to have more positive impact because you know India is a country with large youth force, but still our country lacks something. In India, we have large number of service-based companies, whereas we lag in product-based companies. When you look at US, they have a lot of product-based companies like Google, Facebook, and so on. But India, we have only service-based company. So when you're going to encourage this vocational learning, your children are going to get more practical knowledge. So once they complete school and graduate, they are going to, many children can become entrepreneurs because they will have practical knowledge and they will try to do many things. In our current scenario, if you see, be plumbing or electrical work, you are going out and calling a plumber or electrician. But if your child is going to be taught electrical and electronic works at an early stage, your children can fix the things by themselves. Yes, this is a very welcoming thing, but much infrastructure is needed for all this. I don't know how government is going to implement these policies. We have to wait and see. And another thing is, they have introduced another important concept called bagless days. What is this bagless days? Which means if your school is located in a particular area, a local vocational trainer or an electrician or a carpenter will be allowed to train your child for 10 days. So your child will get more hands-on this way. This is an interesting move. And then they are going to give so much importance for other extracurricular activities like singing, dancing, yoga and things like that. So in addition to education, your children is going to get exposed to many other things. So the next stage of school, this is called secondary stage. So till now in our education, only after you finish your 10, based on the marks or based on your interest, you're going to choose your next stream, on which stream you're going to do. Say for example, if you want to become a doctor, you're going to choose science or biomaths. If you want to become a computer science engineer, you're going to choose your computer science with mathematics. Or if you want to become an accountant, you're going to take up accountancy. Yes, but here in this new education policy, you can choose your majors from your class 9. So this is going to be a secondary phase of education, and this is going to be multidisciplinary, which means if you are a physics student or if you are a science student and you want to do accountancy, you have a choice to choose both. So in this way, you will have two options for your career. You can either go into science, or you can be going to accountancy field, or you can combine these fields and bring something out in a better way. So this is a very good approach, and your grading system is going to be quite different. So till now, our report cards will have the subjects along with their marks. So you will be graded based on the exams which you give, and this comprehensive report is going to be different. Teachers are supposed to find the skill set which the child possesses, and they are going to grade them based on that. In addition to your marks, your teachers will grade based on your skills. So teachers have a vital role to play here, because finding out a skill from a child is not very easy. So teachers will have a key role to play here. So children can channelize their career accordingly right from their class 9. Say if you're good at coding, you're going to get into that field. If you're good at technology, yes, you can choose your career accordingly, or your major and minor accordingly. Or if you're good at electrical or electronic works, yes, you can choose your career accordingly. So you have lots of options like this. This has got both negative and positive criticism, because few argue that what if my child wants to change the career? Say for 9th standard, I might think of becoming a physician, or I'm going to change that to accountant later. So these confusion. This is a type of argument which people put across. But few others are saying that if my child is going to know that this is their passion, and they're going to follow that from early age, so that's a welcome move. So this has, yes, both negative and positive sides. And how government is going to implement this, I don't have any idea, but they say they're going to appoint counselors. So this may be career counselors who can guide the children to choose the right career based on their interest or what they are good at, rather than choosing something which they are not aware of. So another interesting thing is they are going to redesign the curriculum. If you see, the road learning, which is also called mug-up learning, is seen in most of the Indian schools. Most children tend to mug the things up and they just vomit in their board exams. So this is not going to happen, at least in the new policy. As stated in the new policy, they are going to redesign the curriculum mostly based on applied learning. So you will have more practical things than your theoretical things, and your questions will be framed based on how you learn, how you're going to apply that subject. So when I learned mathematics, many things I didn't know that I'm going to apply that in so and so fields. So here in the new type of curriculum, they are going to teach your children applied education, and the syllabus is going to be reduced and core knowledge is going to be given more importance, so that you will get more knowledge on your core subjects or your core things rather than beating around the bush. You'll be learning you will be gaining more knowledge in this type of education, and this is application based. You're going to get more, child will get more interest and they're going to learn that in a better way. So another thing is the exam. If you're going to take up so many exams, but they say the exam pattern is going to be made easier, more multiple choice questions is going to be given, and they said the questions is based on their practical or applied knowledge. So yes, taking up exams, if you understand something and if you're going to take up the exam, it is going to be much more easier than you mugging up and putting it that on your board exam papers. So this is one approach. Multidisciplinary is a very good option because mostly in developed countries, yes, they have followed that and it has been very successful. The world is running so fast and technology is improving and developing. So if you're not going to keep up with the race, you're going to lose somewhere. So to sort that out, the policy has brought in some new subjects. So your children will be taught subjects like artificial intelligence, organic living right from your class 6. So your children will have more exposure to all these new technologies and they can streamline their career accordingly. So after school, now let's come to the college. So in college, they have changed it to 4 years of course. So you have multiple entry and exit option, which means if you're going to drop or if you are going to finish 1 year of your college course and leave, you will be given a certificate. And then if you're planning to go for some work for a year with a break, yes, you can go and come back for your second year of study. By the time you finish your second year, you'll be given a diploma, and if you complete your third year and fourth year, you'll be given degree certificate with some research. So if you do all this is a very good approach actually, especially a country like India. All won't have the luxury to learn, and because many will have options or many will have a responsibility to look after the family. So if you are a person, you can take up 2 years of course, then go work, come back. You can save up some money for your third year and fourth year of college. This is a very good option. And then another thing is they have scraped up the MPhil program. The main reason for this is, if you see at the developed countries, there are many research people than in India. The reason being, after your masters, you're going to do your MPhil, and by the time you finish your thesis and then you're fed up and you're not going for your PhD programs. So here in the new education policy, they are scraping out the MPhil program, and if you're doing your masters, with that you can apply for your doctorate. So this is a welcome move. Yes, and the policy has many negative and positive sides. So there are few concerns from my side as well. So if you look at this 3-language education system, yes, few research suggests that it is very good for your children to learn many languages at an early stage, but I think this is a little too much for a 10-year-old child. So another thing is imposing another national language. Is it happening? I don't know. Maybe if your mother tongue is taught, yes. What's the other regional language you're going to use? Yes, that's a big concern. And the next concern is the policy states that there is going to be a common entrance exam in India. So say a child is studying in a rural area in a government school, and another child is studying in a established international school in a city, and you're going to keep a competition between these two. So until all these policies are put into practice, this type of thing is going to be a challenge for especially people coming from rural areas, because obviously children from cities and good educational institutions, they are going to have better exposure. So if this has to be put in practice, the policy has to be implemented in India in a full-fledged manner. So based on that, once this is implemented completely, yes, they can go for this approach. And another concern is the board exams. I know the stress which I went through when I took up my board exams, that is 10th and 12th. So if children are going to be or made to take board exams from class 3, 5, 8, 10 and 12. So you know the amount of pressure which will be put on those children by the parents and teachers. So government should, yes, these exams are necessary for measuring their performance, but they can do it in a way, they can put in a different approach for this. Maybe children can be given class tests and you can take the average and give the performance based on performance marks based on that. If you're going to make them write board exams right from class 3, this is going to add more pressure to your children. But other than that, if you see these new policies like your different approach on education, a revised curriculum, and this introduction of coding, vocational courses, these are all plus points for this new education policy. Let's wait and see how the government is going to improve this or implement this. So another important concern is teachers. If this has to be implemented successfully, we need the help of teachers. Without teachers, we cannot achieve this. In many developed countries, if you see, teachers are given so much importance. They are given high pay and they'll be assessed based on their performance. Whereas in India, especially if you look at the private schools, teachers are underpaid. They are paid very less. So obviously people will go off for who are very smart, they'll opt for different field. If you want to get the best to the teaching field, you have to bring in new policies where teachers are well paid and they are given performance allowance based on the performance they do every year. If this is done, yes, you will get the best teachers and they are going to build all the younger generation of India, which is going to directly impact the development of our country. So this is my take on this new education policy. If you have any concerns, please comment. We'll be free to answer your questions. And please share this with your friends and family so they'll be aware of what this policy is all about. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed for our channel yet, please click the subscribe button and do not forget to press the bell icon. Only when you do that, you will get notifications of our latest updates. Thanks for watching. Until meet again. Bye-bye.